How do you determine if a thought is conviction or condemnation? Hey, I'm Stephanie Rhea, and this video is inspired by The Place We Find Ourselves, podcast 46, Addressing Accusations. Conventionally, conviction is an indication of wrongdoing from God, and condemnation is a feeling of less than brought about by the adversary, mind you, the liar. So how do you determine if a thought is conviction or condemnation? Both of them hold an element of truth. Both of them indicate a thought or action that misaligns with wholeness or perfect love. So an example could be, you just talked about the girl behind her back. My Bible study leader says, it may be true, but is it truthful? Adam Young says, do the feelings hold any contempt, condemnation, or shame? If so, they are not from God. Remember the story of the woman in the well at John 4? It goes something like this. Jesus is tired from traveling, and being fully human, he pulls into the Starbucks of the day and sits down and asks this woman, do you think your husband would mind if you grab me a glass of water? She says, I have no husband. And Jesus calls her out. He's like, yeah, you've had a lot of husbands. And what was her reaction? John Eldridge says, the way to determine if a teaching or word spoken over you is from God is to look at your reaction. Do you feel an intimate connection with your Creator? Do you have a desire to know the ways of your Maker? If so, then it's from God. The same is true for thoughts in our head. Back to the woman at Starbucks, the woman at the well. She ran back to her groupie and said, come meet the man who's told me everything I've ever done. As a woman, I get chills. I have such a deep desire to be known, to be understood, for someone to get me. No doubt that's what she was looking for in all of her husbands. Jesus enters her story, messes up her way of living, and fulfills her deeper longing. That doesn't sound like our modern day connotation of conviction, so let's call it something else. Let's call it identification. So I have this friend who's known me for a long time, and he's not afraid to call me out when my motives are skewed or selfish. Tadashi calls this having somebody to hold you down, somebody who keeps you grounded, somebody who helps you with self-awareness. I love having this friend. Even when he calls me out on something that's not good for me, I feel known, I feel cared about. That's what identification from Holy Spirit feels like. Holy Spirit is saying, hey, your life is headed this direction, but you did this thing that's over here, and that's not even like you. Who you really are is holy, redeemed, reconciled, and fully pleasing to your Maker. So when we do something that does not align with that, we're not acting out of who we really are. Let me take it one step further. Many times we blame the old nature for our misalignments. But as a new creation, that old nature is not there. Chris Valentin says there are two reasons for our misalignments. 1, the ability to believe a lie, and 2, free will or choice. So most days, we don't sin. But if you have an overwhelming day-to-day feeling of guilt, shame, or condemnation, that's not from God. Condemnation, contempt, and guilt are not from your Creator. If that's you, please find someone to fight for you. Your life is worth it. You are worth it.